listen to that music and just get pumped up. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. My name is Drake Striker and welcome to my channel. And I would just like to introduce you to a brand new, series of Let's Play videos. Unlike my previous Outlast or maniacal multiplayers kind of videos, this is not going to be updated on any sort of schedule. I'm just going to be posting these videos kind of as I see fit at random intervals, because this is one of my favorite games of all time, and I continue to play it off and on as I get some free time just to relax, wind down. And I have to say, like, I put over 1,000 hours of this on the PS3, just kind of the vanilla edition of the game with just kind of the DLCs added. And then I discovered the joys of the PC version and the modding community before mods kind of got proliferated to Xbox and the PlayStation Network. However, I am going to give a preface that I ended up kind of getting stuck in a cycle of like modding this game, continuing to mod it until I eventually broke the game, then we have to uninstall it and then reinstall it and kind of start over from scratch. And it got to the point where I was just cycling this basically spending more time modding the game than I was playing the game, and I kind of fell out of love with it, unfortunately. I spent less time actually playing it. However, since then, I have found a utility that you can find in the description below called Wabbajack.org. It is fantastic. It's more of a one-click install. They're wonderful people, and it takes a lot of the guesswork out of the process of modding. It's a lot more straightforward. So if you want a lot of mods, if you want your Skyrim to be pretty, but also maybe be harder or to have expanded gameplay mechanics, definitely go over there, check them out, download it, maybe go onto their Patreon, throw them a few bucks. They've earned it. They've done a phenomenal job of making a unique Skyrim experience and a fantastic Skyrim experience a lot more accessible to people who aren't like actual coders or software engineers. So specifically, the mod list I'm using is called Living Skyrim 2. I'll have a link for that mod list in the description below as well. So with all of that in mind, let's get started. I love the embers in these loading screens. It's just so cool. It's both like a fantastical edge as well as it's just pretty. All right. So here is the character creation thing. So now, here's the thing about Skyrim. Like, I really like playing a Dragonborn. However, when you're playing a Nord or an elf of some sort, you're playing someone who, quote unquote, has a dragon soul, but they don't look anything like a dragon. Like, and so you look at all these different, humanoid races, and none of them look nearly at all dragon type, especially the kitty. What's going on, kitty? Do you want a scritchins? Do you want to? I know. You have wares if I have coins. Shut up. So, really, for me, the only one who could actually be a Dragonborn is the Argonian. I mean, come on. Yes, you saw this coming if you're at all familiar with either Skyrim or any of the Elder Scrolls games. So, yes, I'm going to play a male because I am cisgendered and apparently stuck in this mindset. Little shout out to all of my people, either of transgender or non-binary identities. You are all valid, and I love you. I'm gonna keep kind of the generic skin tone. However, I like to make my guy just a little bit smaller, and part of that is because I have a mod installed called Pumping Iron, and it basically is kind of cool, so that once like someone has been investing in like some of the more martial skills, whether it's like smithing or like one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, armor, their musculature will actually get bigger and more defined, and it's phenomenal. So I don't necessarily like to play those kind of characters, so I figure I'm playing an Argonian who maybe is a little less minded in his musculature. So I'm a little of the smaller variety. So now we'll get back into kind of this Argonian's head, what he looks like. Unfortunately, I don't really like the way that the scars look, even with like some mods to make things prettier, so I'm just going to leave them there. However, I'm going to give him a little bit of war paint, and I think of all of the war paint options, like that's kind of the most like quote-unquote arcane looking, and I really like playing spellcasters. And I also want to play with a color that's going to contrast. I like blue. I don't know why. I like blue. I don't really have a good reason or justification for it. I just like it. So now, as I said, we're going to try to make this guy Dragonborn. So we are going to try to make him look now as dragony as possible. Nose type. This is the one that kind of, I guess, stands out to me. But we are going to bring it down a bit and maybe bring it a little bit longer. That looks a little... And my frame of reference, I guess, is like the 3.5 D&D Red Dragon. So the closer I can get him to kind of looking like that, then then I think I'm doing a decent job. I'll bring this high, and I'm also going to draw this back because that kind of looks more like a dragon jaw to me. Yeah, bring his cheekbones high. And the thing is, so it says cheekbone, but it's actually talking about the cheeks themselves. You're bringing them in, and that kind of helps the Sauron, I guess, kind of definition from the eyes to the snout. Now the color. So I want to make this look like kind of a grounded green dragon. Now in the past, I've given it this kind of look. In hindsight, I don't like that as much because it's just a little bit more neon, I guess. And it's just making me more just like take out the color in general around like sections that frankly I think don't really need the additional color. But for the nose, I am going to make that a little darker. I'm not going to add any to the chin. However, the neck, I like that color because it provides a little bit of contrast, and it kind of makes it look like, you know, some of his scales are more like hardy and more like, you know, just kind of natural, but then he's got the softer scales underneath, like and forehead color, and that's kind of the scales there. And again, I'm gonna go with kind of my gut in the same way that I did the I guess the cheek lower color and stuff like that. I don't really think it needs more. So now the eye shape, this is kind of harder to suss out. Ooh, I kind of like that. Yeah, I think I like that. A little less important, but aha! Now you may have noticed something pretty dramatic changing, because this is like more the kind of just default vanilla Argonian, and these are the eyes of beauty. I really like the amber color. Like they've got blue, they've got, all sorts of, or actually it's primarily just yellow and blue. But this one is definitely my favorite, just kind of the reptilian slits. I am going to make these higher up, and you'll see why soon. I'm also going to make these as... nope, that's not... Hang on. I'm trying to remember how I usually do this. Oh, that's the width. Oh, okay. I thought I was looking at the wrong thing. Too much mead! Yeah, so the width I want... so I don't want them to be... I want them to actually be as close together as possible, for a number of reasons I'm not going to get into right now. Then the depth, I want them brought all the way back. Yep, there we go. Now, eyeliner color. I want a good red. And why? Because I'm making an Arcanist, and with like the yellow eyes and the red eyeliner, like it looks like his eyes are almost on fire. I really like that. And that's why we're going to do this, because I like it. So, deal with it. Yeah, and to contrast, we're going to make that area around his eyes very dark green to continue to bring out that contrast. Now the brow, let's face it, no dragon worth of salt would not have eyebrow horns. Eyebrow horns are just fantastic. So let's bring those down and bring the brow width out and forward. Why? Because if you saw this guy looking directly at you, this would be intimidating as hell. He has resting bitch face and he does not care. So that's why that's going to stay the way it is. Mouth shape, it's going to stay as it is, but I'll bring the height up, I think, a little bit. Bring it forward as well. And here's the thing, the chin width, I'm going to bring that in. Chin length as well. But then I'm going to push it all forward. And that looks, I don't know about you, that looks very dragony to me. It really does. And I'm going to give him some dark lips, just because. And finally, the pièce de résistance, horns. Every dragonkin, or in this case dragonborn, needs decent horns. So you've got the two kind of horns going out from either side of the head, as well as a little horn frill there. I think this guy is just about set to go off into Skyrim and start adventuring. So I'm going to give him a name. I'm going to name him after myself. Why? Because I can. I'm going to call him Drake. So, I need to give this just a little bit of time to start loading the mods and kind of the mod lists, as it were, letting everything just kind of process and all these scripts kind of become more integrated. And while I'm going to do that, I want to tell you a little about this character that I'm going to be creating. So this is Drake, and he was born a little bit different. Actually, now it's asking me to assign attributes. I'm going to assign attributes first, and then I'll tell you about my character. So, honestly, I'm going to say straight out with this mod list, it is significantly more difficult than vanilla Skyrim. So you would think, you just want normal difficulty, go for adept. No. Even without taking the novice level of attributes, you're still going to have a difficult time with living Skyrim. So I don't feel like I'm cheating at all by choosing novice. Curious companion setup is almost completed. Fine, yeah, you can skip that now, I don't care. Okay, so let's see. For strength, I just want that to be at kind of the vanilla range. Fortitude, that's already kind of at the middle range. That's fine. Remember, so I am not going to be making like a, I don't know, I guess a martial character or a thieving character. I'm just trying to give them just what they need in order to be like at the same playing field as like what would be considered a vanilla character. But then I'm going to give them some edges. So in particular, I really like playing spellcasters. So that's what I'm going to be creating now. Yeah, so having this guy have a magic base of slightly more than vanilla, spell duration slightly more, spell magnitude slightly more. Like, that's fine for now. Wisdom. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna pump that up. Kind of in the same fashion that I did the intelligence. So it's just a little above vanilla. Okay, so that's all set. Perception, what's perception? Critical damage, power attack damage. That stuff I'm not even going to use, frankly, so I'm not actually going to worry about that. Agility. Okay, so my stamina base actually is slightly below vanilla. I'm pumping that up just to be able to be vanilla, and then what, dexterity. Okay, yeah, that's already below or above vanilla, and I think that's probably because of, I don't know, the fact that I'm playing Argonian. Okay. So I actually like playing a character who's fairly charismatic. So right now, it costs a little more for him to bribe people, less of a chance of intimidating people, not a great multiplier to persuade people. So yeah, that's kind of the vanilla aspect. But I'm going to give him a little bit more than that. Just because I can. And now luck. I at the very least want him to have a rewards modifier of vanilla. So, a rewards multiplier rather. So that's what that looks like. So I had to beef up his luck just a little bit. But now, it's like intelligence is one of the magic things, as well as wisdom. So I'm going to put another one in each of them. Let's see, perception. Well, that's more like critical damage, power attack damage. I'm not even going to worry about that. Agility. I'm not going to worry about that. Dexterity. Yeah, range damage, jump, fall. Damage. I'm not worrying about that. So I'll put another into charisma. And then another into luck. I'm going to go back and put another into intelligence, another into wisdom, and then I think I'm going to put my last one into charisma, because like luck is just kind of more of a random thing, so I'm not going to worry about that so much. So I think with all this set out, I'm good with this. I'm good with this. So that's kind of the beginnings of Drake the Argonian here. And there are some messages coming in. I'm guessing I'm not the only one to hear that, but that's not going to be a problem, because this is an area where I can choose how I want to start this game. Yeah, how about no, Scott? So one thing I am going to do, I really don't like that matter of time display in the upper left there. So I am just going to take everything off of there. And I'm going to take care of the rest of kind of my mod configurations probably after I end this video. So, because let's face it, you don't need to see all the minutia of how I'm setting up this game. But let me tell you a little about this character, Drake, before he is about to set out on his journey into Skyrim. So, this is Drake. He was born a little bit different from most of his Argonian peers in that he was essentially born without the hist, the divine tree essentially that gives most Argonians their life force, their abilities. The hist didn't really have any connection to him, and yet he somehow came about in the Black Marshes to a couple of I believe they're called like shadow scales. They're essentially revered Argonian assassins in the Dark Brotherhood guild of assassins. So he was born to them, but he didn't really show any he didn't show like their lack of morality or their desire to want to kill other people. Instead, he had a fascination for books and for magic and for kind of understanding what was behind the veil of the universe and kind of trying to understand the universe from that I guess from reading about magic, from trying to understand it and playing with it. And he actually found that more than his I guess usual peers in Black Marsh, he was a little bit more gifted than they were at using the weave that we know as Arcana. So because of this, and because he was frankly treated as a little bit of an outsider, he ended up traveling to the Mages College of Winterhold, where he is now presenting himself as a supplicant to their guild in order to try to learn more from them and to learn how to utilize these magical abilities that they have mastered.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
And that's where we kind of choose, thanks to Live Another Life Alternative Start, the mod that basically lets you choose how you want to start this. Like, usually I don't mind actually like playing through the whole vanilla game and like kind of having that focus on being the Dragonborn, but because I enjoy playing more of an arcane character, we're going to start.
Which guild are you a new recruit for?
As a member of the College of Winterhold.
The glorious power of magic shall be yours to command.
Yes, it shall! Alright. And all I need to do in order to get there is to activate this bed, but I'm going to save it here because this has been quite the introductory video, and I'm going to leave it here. But I just want to say thank you all for deciding to watch this video, or not, as you see fit. I will be coming up with a more regular Let's Play playlist. I'm still trying to figure out which video I want to do, but in the meantime, Skyrim is a game I've always enjoyed, and I love getting back to every once in a while. If you enjoy me talking a little bit more like role-playing, like stuff like this, then maybe consider clicking that thumbs up, that like button, and subscribing if you want to hear when I post a new video, because clearly that needs to be announced with fanfare and pomp and circumstance. But in the meantime, I have been Drake Stryker. Thank you so much for joining me. Stay healthy in these troubling times, and I will see you in the next video.